So you think you're ready for a smart toilet? SOTOMO sent us this toilet to review. This one does everything you can imagine and a bit more. We'll show you all the features, prep, the install. Maybe you might just be ready for one of these. Pretty cool. This is not your grandma's toilet. It comes with the remote. Check this out. As soon as I come close to the toilet, it opens up for you. If you want to lift the seat, just press the remote. When you're done, close the seat with the remote, close the lid, and it flushes. That's just the beginning of what you can do with this toilet with this remote. It's pretty incredible. It's got a bunch of dials on the front, has a front and rear bidet. It has a dryer and flush buttons all on the front. On the top is open the cover and open the seat. And on the back, there are all kinds of fine tuning that you can do with all the features of this toilet. For example, right here when I put my hand on the seat, there's a sensor and it's going to think I'm sitting on the seat. So what it's doing is pre-wetting the bowl. After I lift up my hand from this, it's going to think I'm done and it'll prepare the toilet to be flushed. All of this is completely hands-free. If you so desired, all you gotta do is tap this front button and it lifts up the seat. On the back side of the remote are all kinds of settings where you can fine-tune the temperature of the seat, the temperature of the water, the temperature of the air dryer. You can do a hot-cold massage with the water temperature on the bidet. There's a button here to clean the nozzle. And the nozzle housing where it goes in also has a UV light to help sanitize it. It even has a night light feature, which, again, they've thought of everything. Not only does this toilet have all these incredible features, but it also looks really nice. While the install is not much different from a typical toilet, there are some considerations that you want to be aware of if you're considering one of these toilets for yourself. So let's get into the install. At the end of the install, we'll give you all our measurements. We'll show you different things that we took into consideration, things that we ran into that we didn't expect. And hopefully these will help you decide if you're ready for a smart toilet. So we're getting ready to put in our new smart toilet from SOTOMO. And yet to do that, we had to do a couple preparatory things. First off is right there is power. This toilet comes with a plug. And so first things we had to do is take power from the outlet in the kitchen and add in a new outlet right there. The outlet on the other side is GFCI, and that makes that also is GFCI. I could have also tried to take power from this outlet and run it down, or I could have tried to take power from here, run it down the wall and put the plug there. But my goal was to keep it as hidden as possible. Step number 2 is to remove the toilet. Basically, you just got to get rid of that water supply there. It's just a water supply there and the bolts underneath those caps. And once we get rid of those, we can take the toilet out. We're going to use this right here. It's the Fluidmaster Better Than Wax toilet seal. They make them different sizes. Typically, you want to know what the distance is. This is a 3-inch drain right here. Once you put a toilet down on the wax seal, you can't move it or you break the seal. This one can be repositioned, can take it off and reinstall the toilet. A lot more flexibility. We've used these in the past without any issues whatsoever. We'll have a link in the description below if you're looking to pick one of these up on Amazon. Now we can go ahead and deal with our supply. We want to take this off, this portion here, and leave this, and we're going to add to that in just a second. And because this room was painted after that toilet was put in, we have to go ahead and repaint all of this because that's going to be seen. So we have a little work ahead of us. With the top off, this box lifts up. And here's our template for the toilet. We'll set that there for a second. What we want to do is take a look at the back side of this. a lot of width here. Our stud is like right here. So I'm going to put a hole here and then feed another hole inside the cabinet and feed the cord through there, kind of hidden. Because that underneath color is pretty dark, we may have to do a couple coats. Right, so there's the template that they provide you, and this template comes right in the top of the box. I had put this in the pipe to, you want to block the smells, because right now without the toilet there, you just get sewer gas coming up from there. The template's really good as far as lining it up, showing you the perimeter of the toilet. I measured this and it's just like 1/8 of an inch bigger than the entire toilet, so it gives you a pretty good estimation of how it's going to sit. But while I was doing that, I saw that the back of the toilet and this were close to touching or interfering. Then when you go and look at the toilet, here's the bottom of the toilet, and you can see as it would sit on the ground, this is at a slant, and so this goes even closer to the wall. This is where my handle would be. So where it was, the handle looked like it was just going to touch if you measured from the bottom of the toilet. Right here, I got another inch and a half that it's going to interfere with. So I got a big problem. I looked at the other toilets in our house, and they have supplies that come from the floor, but they're coming from like right here as well. So this is something you definitely want to check with before you commit to getting a new toilet. Is where's the supply going to be, and is it going to interfere? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this valve off and redirect it. And that's about the only way I'm going to be able to get this toilet in here, because you can't really move the center of this hole. It's a major undertaking. Here's all the tools I got. That is a compression ring puller in case I need that. I have an angle valve, so it's going to go at an angle. And I have another crimp on, and that's some emery cloth, because when you put these tools on there, that copper pipe needs to be clean. And to deal with this, there's still water supply coming to this pipe, so I have to turn the water supply off to the entire house. Turned off the incoming water to the house, or opened the lowest outlet, which is actually an outside outlet, to drain the water that's in the floors above out. And now I can open this up, take this as my reminder, turn off the water. You don't want to forget that when you take something like this off. So now what I have left is that crimp ring there. I've got this tool. I'll put a link in the description below for this as well. And you use it to go ahead and pull off what I call a compression ring. Put it on here and it screws on. Male threads for this right here. And so when I start turning this onto here, it's going to want to pull. It's a little big. We got to clean that up. So I've got the template on the floor there. At the back edge, I've got that 45 to show how far away from the wall I'm going to be. 3 3/8 of an inch. That's how much room I have from the back of the toilet at the bottom. I have 3 3/8 from the wall from there, but you can see it comes at a slant right here. And this is where my valve is going to be. At this upper limit, it's going to be somewhere around 1 1/4. The goal is to keep this from 2 inches away from the wall. We should have clearance. Okay, so there's our pipe is right there. You can barely see the copper. It goes 1 inch in this way and 1 inch into here. And now we'll just do the final slip on, and this is going to go 1 inch onto here. Here's our tape outline, and then we can pull this up, and that will be how we set the toilet, and we know that we've got it on perfectly straight. So this will be one supply to the toilet itself, one supply to the bidet, and then this is going to connect to the actual water supply control valve. Now I'm going to take that right there and put it on here. So I'm going to have a single outlet turn into a double outlet. These are the attachments for the toilet itself. And this is what they look like. You're going to screw into this with these long screws from the side of the toilet. And there's a hole there. And so that it can hit where it needs to hit. It all it has to do is hit any of those holes, and you'll be good to go. I'm going to add this. This does not come with the toilet. This is something I bought separate, but it's time to put that together. And so, following the directions, this is what I'm doing. Adding this piece, and we put this one on top of it. Got the washer on there and nuts for the bolt. Tighten those down. So we're ready for toilet placement. There you can see I kind of propped up the tank so I can measure underneath it. All right, so underneath here, the toilet was not fitting over the seal well. So I want to do some measurements. And so this part right here is flush with the sides. Way over here, it's flush with the sides of the toilet tank. So that's all level. But I want to measure from right here to the underside of the toilet. I have a 1/2 inch or so of room. So now I want to go ahead and measure my toilet seal. Okay, so I put that straight edge over my toilet seal. And from the floor on which the toilet's going to rest, I'm looking at just short of 1 1/4 inches. This particular toilet seal is designed to compress somewhat, but it still was rocking because I only have like a 1/2 inch of space between the underside of the toilet and the floor. So I'm gonna get rid of this spacer. I trimmed about 1/8 of an inch off that with my blade, and that's that right there. Off the ground, this is about 3/4 of an inch. But it's still pretty compressible. You can see it's soft. So my 1/2 inch of space under the toilet will compress this down, and I should get a good seal, and yet still be able to mount it and not have the toilet rock. So let's go ahead and install the toilet. I'm gonna lift this up from the bottom here. All right, it felt good. Looks right on the tape. No, it's no longer rocking, which is good. All right, so now you can see how it sits. As far as space goes, I can get my hand back there, but that's about it. My knuckles are touching the back of the wall there. My supply down here. I have room to attach the hoses right there. And then I have my battery connection right here. My electrical, this is where I want to feed it through into the wall to come into the cabinet here. And there's my plug right there. And so that's the tape line gives you an idea of how it's sitting. Is it in the right spot or not? Now we can go ahead and start making our connections. Right, so I need to get some thread tape on this. Probably should have done it before I put the toilet in, but this right here is just too big to use back there. So what I did is I wrapped some thread tape around the end of a pencil, and then this gives me a lot more ability to get around the back side of this. And so I'm going to go around this 4 times. Okay, I'll do the same on this end here. The directions don't say you need thread tape because the hoses themselves have rubber O-rings in them, but it's not going to hurt anything, so I'd rather be safe than sorry. Okay, now get a wrench for that. And you don't have to overdo it because those O-rings will be doing their job. We can always tighten them more if we detect any leaks, but I think we'll be okay. You can see here I fed a hanger through the hole on this side of the cabinet through to here, and I'll use this to pull the power cord through to inside here. Alright, so I was having trouble getting the plug through. Stick my drain camera in the hole here to see what's going on. If I get to that gap between a drywall and that pipe is not big enough to get the plug through. So that hole that I've drilled previously is not going to work. The final bit of installation are inserting these two little sleeves down here in the side of the toilet. That screw goes in through the sleeve into those clips that we mounted around the toilet drain before we set the toilet. So that just anchors it in place. All in all, this is a pretty amazing toilet. It does literally everything you could want a toilet to do and then some. Super convenient. Thanks a lot for watching. If you guys think out of this video, give us a thumbs up. We really do appreciate it. Share it. Be sure and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next video. Before you install your toilet, you want to be sure and know the measurements that you're facing. The center of this drain is right at 12 inches from the molding, and then from the wall you add another ½ inch. So this toilet drain is 12.5 inches from the wall. Right, so we have 3 bathrooms in this house, and one has the water supply coming out of the wall like that. The other 2 have the water supply coming out of the floor like that. And like this one here, the handle itself is over 4.5 inches from the wall. And the pipe itself is 3.5-ish out here. While these bases turn around, they're much smaller bases. The base for the SOTOMO goes straight out like this and then over. And downstairs we only had 3 3/8 room from the back of the toilet, the back of the new SOTOMO, to the wall at the base. And so in this case right here, that would not fit. So you're gonna need to know that where your supply is coming from in relation to how the toilet will sit on the floor. For us to put it in here, it's going to require us to redirect this pipe. That means cutting a hole in the floor right here and redirect this pipe over to the side or into the wall, one or the other. But that's something that you want to consider when you are thinking about putting one of these toilets in, is what kind of room do you have? And so this is how the toilet's going to actually sit, just like this template is. And so that's 13.5 inches wide. And so your center line for this toilet, so 6 3/4 of an inch on either side of the center line.